What's going on, you guys? We are coming to you live, you know what I'm saying? Every Friday, like we normally do. We catching it deep. That's the name of the show. Catching it deep with your boy D Gifted. And I'm with the boy Delco. He was talking from Delco. We do this every Friday, coming to you guys live, man. Go ahead and man. How you been feeling, man?
Hey, I'm good, brother. Like I said, I've been waiting to get with you, tonight. It's been a long week. We need to delve into some things. But
Yes,
hey, let's do it,
sir.
man. Let's
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
Yes, sir, man. It's it's week 5. This NFL schedule has been definitely flying by real fast. And already going into week 5, we kind of still don't even know the identity of the team. We had week 1 against Atlanta Falcons where we was really, scoring and really moving the ball. Then you had week 2 where it was, a good game, but we missed on some opportunities. Then you had week 3 and with the you had week 3 against Dallas Cowboys where we got stumped. You know what I mean? Then you had the Kansas City Chiefs where we kind of went back to our original form that we had week 1, where we saw us really flying around, making plays and executing. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I still kind of don't even know exactly what we're gonna get. You know what I mean? I feel like we still figuring out the run game. You got Miles Sanders and Kenny still kind of figuring out things, seeing who is the bell cow. And I just want to get your opinion on that aspect of it. Like, how you feel about Miles Sanders carries kind of slipping because of Kenny Galladay. I said Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Gainwell. All
Yeah,
right, I
Kenny
got a couple
Gainwell.
things. I got a couple things to say, but let me address that first. Um, you know what? This could be a thing, and I've heard this, on the sports talk radio. We listen to here at WIP. All the guys on there.
Yeah.
Ike Reese and John Marks, talking the same thing. This could be a situation where, listen, this regime had nothing to do with drafting Miles Sanders. It could be a situation where they like what Kenny Gainwell brings. Now, you have to go back
Mm-hmm.
to the preseason, when we were hearing all these reports in training camp that Miles wasn't catching the ball and, this is going wrong and that is going wrong. Well, I mean, this current regime, well, the coaches, I ain't going to say the whole regime, but the coaches, they have no allegiance to Miles Sanders. And maybe, it could be that Gainwell, could be the guy that they're going to look to. Now, I don't 100% agree with that because, Miles is our best running back,
Yeah.
but it's just I can't, make it work in my mind how he's gotten the little bit of carries that he's gotten over the
Mm-hmm.
last few weeks. But, that's really the only thing I could think of is that this coaching staff, they see something in Gainwell that they
Yeah.
like. And while Miles is, he has all the potential in the world, this could
Mm-hmm.
be a situation where, what, I think Nick Sirianni and the guys, we like our guy better. It could now, they won't never admit or say anything like that, but by their actions, I mean, this could be a changing of the guard, and a good comparison. They talked about Jordan Howard. You remember how Jordan Howard was the man in Chicago. All of a sudden, Tariq Cohen goes along, then it's bye-bye Jordan Howard. And it was the same exact thing, a change in coaching regime.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is, shipped to Philadelphia for next to nothing. So could we be
Mm-hmm.
seeing sort of a repeat with that? Only it's coming from our end where we're getting rid of a home run threat like Miles Sanders. It very well could be the case, brother. I mean,
Hey.
now it depends on what we see, the next few games. I mean, if they prefer, to game well as time goes on, and I think that answers all of our questions about how they see the running back position on our team.
Yeah, they definitely downplaying how Miles Sanders carries have decreased. And you brought up a good point with Miles Sanders not necessarily being their guy. And I believe Miles Sanders is, I think, have a year or two left on his contract. So this could be, like you said, them kind of pushing him out of the way and create more room for Kenny. but I think Miles Sanders is obviously the better back, and with his limited carries that he's averaging, 5 yards a carry. So I'm not sold on the fact that Nick Sirianni even knows what he's doing with these running backs, because Kenny is not a better runner than Miles Sanders. You
All right, but
got
let me jump in real quick. But this is the thing, and this is what, for a long time I didn't like pay attention to this type of stuff. But what we got to remember as fans, these coaches, they're with these guys every single day. They see
that's
their
true.
practice habits, how they work, what their, body language is, how they take to what's being taught as far as learning the offense. That's something that needs to be taken into account. Now, we as fans, we know what Miles Sanders is. We've seen Miles Sanders, just out of nowhere, break for long runs and break one for a touchdown. But the bottom line is they know more about these players than we do. So that's why it's really important to keep into account, how these coaches really feel. Now, we could say, well, how can you, bench it, or you limit a guy like Miles Sanders for a guy like Kenny Gainwell? Well, it does seem crazy to us because we're not there. We don't see what goes on. But
for sure, because you brought up a good point. These coaches, they see these guys all the time, and with them giving more opportunities to Kenny, I can kind of see that, because I seen the play, me watching the game last week, where they was trying to feed Sanders early, and he completely missed the hole. Like, I'm watching the game live, and I'm seeing the hole wide open on the right, and I'm sure he did too, because after the play, he slammed the ball in frustration. So I'm sure he saw that, but it was even pointed out after the game that he missed a few holes, and with them, like you said, probably seeing his practice habits and seeing Kenny is hungry. You know what I mean? And sometimes guys get comfortable. And Miles Sanders, he even in his press conference is even a little, not even holding his own ground when he talking about Kenny. He's admitting in these conferences that Kenny has the better hands. Kenny is this, Kenny is that. That's good that giving your teammate props and stuff, but that's ultimately going take away from his carries. You know what I mean?
exactly, it's almost like it's an admission that, well, this rookie that they bought in, he's better at doing, the things that me being a third year pro that I should be better at. And this is why I go back and say, I haven't heard the comment that you're talking about, but we're all going to see how Miles reacts to this, and this goes into a few other things. I know we're going to get into the defense, but I heard a report on the radio, and Bleeding Green Nation, which I read a lot. It's about Fletcher Cox is starting to talk about or voice his opinion on how he's being used in the defense. Now, we're all over Fletcher for his performance so far. He really hasn't been the Fletcher Cox that we're accustomed to seeing. But it all goes back to coaching. Now, if you get these veteran players start questioning the coach about how they're using them in their role in all offense or defense, that's all a microcosm of having new coaches, a new system, on both sides of the ball. It's an adjustment period.
It
now, as far as
definitely
Miles Sanders, like I said, the next few games is going to tell us a lot. I don't know what's going to happen come Sunday as far as them running the ball. I mean, they haven't ran the ball a lot anyway. So,
right.
I'm very curious to see how they handle this with the running backs.
Yeah, I want to say one last thing about the running backs before we move forward. With these running backs, I just don't think that Coach Nick Sirianni is putting these guys in position at times, and part of that is Miles Sanders is not good at catching the ball, so he's not going to put him in position in where we play the most, which is in the passing game. We like to move the ball. When Coach Nick Sirianni, after the game, he's having a meeting with the owner on how we can be more pass efficient, how we can move the ball. And if we're going to be passing the ball, then the guy who can be more reliable, because we ultimately is one thing we all learned throughout these 4 weeks of football, we are a passing team. Whether we are a complete passing team. We love to pass. So with that being said, our running back have to be elite in the game. And I heard that Kenny actually took the job away from Miles Sanders when it come to catching the ball. They was giving Miles Sanders opportunities throughout the whole training camp to perform, to look like that guy. And the whole time in training camp, what we've been hearing is he been dropping the balls. So you brought up a great point about how these coaches, they see these guys every day. They see their practice habits. And another good point you brought up is the fact that these are veteran guys. You know what I mean? So and that's trickling down. If you're losing and then you have the veteran guys not being happy, it's a whole new system being brought into place, and guys are starting to voice their frustration. You brought up Fletcher Cox talking. Shoot, we could jump over to that side of the ball, because for real, Darius Slade was the one really chirping. Darius Slade chirping, but see, that's in his character. You know what I mean?
Cool.
That's something that he already do. But when Fletcher Cox is showing signs of frustration, I personally haven't seen Fletcher Cox look so frustrated in a press conference in a long time like that. And when asked about how he's being used, that's when he starts showing more signs of frustration. Hold on, y'all be quiet. I can only hear it once. You just feel the vibe, like he know that
exactly.
He's
all right,
playing.
but but before we go any further, let's do a quick circle back, because I want to talk a little bit about the Kansas City Chiefs games. I want to know what your overall feeling was, on the game. What were your thoughts, after the game was over, and how you saw things? Because I have an opinion, I want to give it, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. Honestly, that game, I didn't expect us to win. So how I felt after the game was, I guess I had something to be proud of. Offensively, defensively it was a tale of two different emotions. On one hand, I felt good, but still feel like there's a lot of work to be done. Then on the other hand, on the other side of the ball, defense, I don't know what's going to happen. So I was pleased. Overall, I was pleased to see the offense be able to continue to make strides and move forward and making progress. And as far as the defense has been regressing, while the offense has been somewhat progressing, and Jalen Hurts starting to make throws across the middle of the field, starting to be able to, read the defense and understand what the coach wants on each play. The defense has been regressing. So honestly, I'm hopeful in the offense, and I'm doubtful about the defense. And after the game, not just after the game, but even after the game, where you got them in a press conference and being able to talk to the players, and you talking to the players on the defensive side of the ball to see their frustration, and to see them, especially up on the line, a defensive line in the ball where we need them to be elite, and they frustrated, they not happy. It's not looking good. We got 40 plus points put up on us 2 weeks in a row. And we had a pick, and it didn't mean anything. So, like I said, I'm hopeful in the offense. I'm not so much on the defense. It overall, it made me feel like it's an evaluation. It just reminded me even more, just an evaluation year.
Right. Exactly. So for me, I said this in the video that I made earlier this week. It's like I said, at the beginning of every season, we all, as Eagles fans, I'm pretty sure every football fan or whatever team they choose to root for, we all have that kind of deep down hope that our team, like we kind of know like what our team is, or have an idea what it will be. But I'm just hoping, man, I hope we could just come out and just shock people, and just be like this juggernaut that, everybody, that nobody expected to happen.
Because it's potential.
Exactly. But for me, it brought me back down to the reality of what the season was supposed to be. This is, no doubt about it, a transition year. This is a year where we're going to take a lot of bumps and bruises. And, the first, 4 games, I mean, I just think it's evident that is the process where I'm not going to get the dream season that I hope will come out of nowhere. I mean, that's just the actual factual. It's not going to happen that way. Now, watching that game Sunday, I was very, I was upset we lost because, I mean, I don't like losing winnable games. And to me, I don't know what everybody else feel. I believe the Kansas City game was a winnable game. That's 21 points, 3 touchdowns called back, 21 points taken off the board. All by self-inflicted, mistakes. Now, I would say the penalty on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I mean, that's like hit or miss. I mean, I'm not 100% agreement on that.
Yeah.
But the other two, the Dallas Goedert, which was a great play by Dallas Goedert, where he got his helmet ripped off, but Andre Dillard was down the field, further than he was supposed to be. These are things that are correctable. So I have a ton of hope for the offense. It's not like 2016 where, we got off to that 3-0 start, and that was clearly fool's gold. I knew it then, I mean, I think we all knew it. We have some talent on the offensive side of the football. And it shows, with the men down that we have on offensive line. Our offensive line, minus the penalties, have been great. I mean, that's just flat out. I mean, anybody who's watching our team that can't see that, don't know a lot about football. Minus the penalties, the offensive line has held up. Jack Driscoll, he came in and did a fabulous job against Chris Jones, the all-pro Chris Jones. Defensive, well, they did move him out to defensive end. Like, I don't know how much experience he has there, but Jack Driscoll shut Chris Jones down. Our young wide receivers, I see the progression. There's still things that need to be cleaned up, but I really like where this is going. This is pretty much what I hoped. I know it wasn't going to happen overnight where, everything was going to click, but I love the way our offense is coming together. I mean, you can see the progression. It is definitely there. I thought the offense, outside of, a few things, Jalen Hurts, he did miss Zach Ertz on that touchdown. Should have been 7-0. We had to settle for a field goal. Outside of a couple bad plays, I mean, that kid, played his heart out. I mean, and that gives me hope for what our offense could be. And as soon as the coach and the players get on the same page, and they really, like you've been saying this for weeks, about finding our identity on offense, to me, the sky's the limit. Now, the defense, I'm very disheartened because that's not what we're used to in Philadelphia. We're used to our Philadelphia defense being nowhere near as bad as what we've seen the last couple weeks. 40 plus points. Exactly. Where teams just run the ball at will. And I know Dallas is great. They have a great offensive line. Kansas City, they have been running the ball a little bit as of late because they've been so bad. But it's just we haven't forced the punt in 2 games. I mean, think about that. That's not what we're used to here in Philly. And it was that's the most. I was really mad after the game, but once I had time to really sit and collect myself and look at it for what it really is, like I said, I'm back resigned to the fact this is a transition year, but I do not want to see our defense get pushed around like this all year. I don't know what can be, but the problem is what can be done. This is what we got. There aren't you can't go on the street and find like a Darius Leonard middle linebacker or, Luke Kuechly. These guys aren't out there on the street. So this is what we got is what we have to roll with for the rest of the year. Man. But I don't know, Gannon, don't be stubborn. Stop embarrassing us. We got to do something about our defense. This is really killing me.
Yeah, man, because, this defense, like you said, we gave up 40 plus points 2 weeks in a row. This is definitely something that we not used to. And this is a completely different scheme. I think a lot this which requires a whole different technique when it comes to playing up on the line. This makes every other position up on the defensive line important. Like using 4 men on the line, you will probably need, your edges, to be cool, or your center, whichever one the team value the most. When you just got 3 men up on the line and you got Fletcher Cox lined up across the center when he's getting double teamed, and then your edge is not being contained. Brandon Graham, he was known for being a great run stopper. He's not in there no more. These are young guys in a whole. Everybody on this defense is in a whole different scheme. Whole different scheme that requires, everybody to, basically do different things. And
Right.
so I'm thinking to myself, like, this is probably a defense that's going to have to get better throughout the week. And like you said, the what we need on defense as far as the linebackers, we're not going to find these guys in the streets. So with that being said, we're going to have to draft these guys. We're going to have to sign somebody. But I can't blame them because I do have to remember our offense has been atrocious for years. That's why the attention haven't been, on the defense, because we haven't been able to have the players that we need to be able to keep up, with other teams. So we kind of lacked in that position. And hopefully in due time, as the season goes on, we not giving up 40 plus points, because that's gonna bring up a lot. The more we lose, the more frustrated, the more talking, the more everything. Everybody gonna be chirping. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to even see what that feels like. But like you said, last game made me feel a whole lot better up on the offense. Jalen Hurts, his progress that he's been making week in and week out. Now, to me, this is going into week 5. I haven't really seen him have a game that made me be like, oh no, he needs to, like, he's not our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Every week he's been making progress. Every week, now mind you, he's essentially a rookie. You know what I mean? So he's a rookie because he in his 8th start or 9th start, one of them. But this guy's consistently growing with every game. How you feel
Absolutely.
about his growth that he's been making from week 1 all the way up to this far?
Well, like I said, it is very important for this franchise that this guy show that he can be our franchise quarterback. I mean, I do not want to go through another quarterback shuffle where we're waiting 1, 2, 3, 4 years to find out who our guy is going to be. Now, the first 4 games in total, there's been ups, there's been down. I do like the way he responded, coming off the Dallas game, because he played like crap in the Dallas game, but he took responsibility, which, we can all appreciate. And he came out and he showed. He played much better. Like I said, there are things you can nitpick. There were bad throws, missed throws, but it was, I say a 70% improvement over what he looked like playing in Dallas.
Yeah.
That I can appreciate. I can appreciate, self accountability, and not only taking accountability for how bad he played, but to actually come out and do something about it. So, like I said, I'm with you. I criticized him heavily after the Cowboys game, in my video I did after that, because he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he had a full off season to correct, some of the things we've seen in that 3.5 game sample size from last year.
Yeah.
He had a whole off season to, correct things, and a lot of things reared their ugly head in that Cowboys game. But as I said, he took responsibility, and like I said, nothing happens overnight. So, like, I'm still with the kid. This definitely gave me my confidence level, a little bit more higher,
Man.
from when he played that Cowboys game. And I do understand that it's a process.
Yes.
But like I said, as a franchise, as a fan base, we really need him to step up and be that guy. So hopefully Carolina will be another stepping stone. Can we expect him to be perfect all the time? No, it's just unreasonable to expect a quarterback to be perfect. And Jalen Hurts, I will say, this is somewhat of a unique circumstance. He doesn't have the luxury of a Zach Wilson or, all these new guys. What's the kid down in over in Chicago?
He wasn't even
Justin
drafted
Fields.
by this coaching staff. So.
I mean, he's had to hear all summer long and all before about Deshaun Watson and maybe trading for Russell Wilson. And this is like his 1-year trial. It's not like he has a slate where he has a year or two to really, grow into the position. Yeah. So I do sympathize with him in that point. But the fact of the matter is, it is what it is. he's in the best possible position
Was
that the young
good,
quarterback can
Brian.
be in, that a franchise is give you an opportunity to start. And like I said, we need him to grab that mantle and hold it. That I'm hoping, like I said, I'm very encouraged by what I saw. I'm looking for more progression. You got to be perfect, but I wanted to see him get better and better. Consistency is what I'm looking for from Jalen Hurts.
Every time I heard Jalen Hurts speak, he give me confidence. So to see his growth up on these games definitely give me even more confidence. And one of the things that got me excited about Jalen Hurts earlier this season is his leadership, the intangible things that a leader needs, and that is very important if you're going to be a quarterback, and not just any quarterback, a quarterback playing in the city of Philadelphia. You have to have a certain type of skin, a certain type of personality to be able to go through the ups and the downs. And he definitely, man, like that game against the Chiefs would confirm to me that when we need to move the ball, he can move the ball. When if we going against a team that we supposed to be moving the ball against, he's going to move the ball. That's one thing that he definitely confirmed to me when I watched him against the Chiefs, because when I watched him against the Falcons, he was supposed to be able to move the ball. He was able to, you know what I'm saying, he was going against a defense that wasn't quite right, a rookie head coach. We were supposed to be able to do that. Going against the Chiefs, they known for getting yards. We did what we were supposed to do. Had hella yards that game. Put up 30 plus points. We did what we were supposed to do. Every time Jalen Hurts goes against a defense that he's supposed to, he has confirmed that he can do that. He's a playmaker for sure. And one of the great things about this season already, Jalen Hurts, with Jalen Hurts being our quarterback, already we have 2 games that have 30 plus points. We ain't have no games last year that was 30 plus points. So already we have shown the ability, Jalen Hurts has shown the ability that we can put up points. We put up way more points already this season than we did at the same time, last season. So I'm definitely convinced that if Nick Sirianni can continue to be smart and scheming up these guys, Jalen Hurts will deliver. Jalen Hurts is the type of guy, you tell him what you want done, he gonna figure out how to get it done. That's not saying that we are a finished product, because we're not. And he missed a few throws, but for the most part, he's accurate. Once we get those things fine-tuned, I feel like we would be a scoring team. Nick
Exactly.
Sirianni already proved that he know how to scheme these guys open. He just got to be consistent with doing it. I don't want to see him playing around and games and he doing something completely different. I don't want to see
Exactly.
that.
Well, see, we could complain about, Nick Sirianni, about his lack of running the football. I know we all screamed at the television when the touchdown by Goddard got called back, but we did get a 1st and 5, and we didn't run the football not once. Things like that we can question, but then we can also look back and say, rookie head coach, we don't like it, but fine, we can live with it. But like I
put him
said,
in position to score, man. Jalen Hurts had 3 touchdowns, bro. 3 touchdowns that literally came back. Like, he didn't run the ball as much, but just imagine if he would have scored it. If them touchdowns would never came back, we would not be. He didn't run it in the red zone. He didn't run. He scored. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to figure we were in that game in the middle of the 4th quarter. The score was 23-28.
Yeah.
We were in the game, and like I said, it kind of got away late. But like I said, it is there. Like I said, I didn't know what Nick Sirianni was going to bring to start the season.
Yeah.
We saw a ton of things we liked in the Atlanta game, but then everything else, we've questioned this. We've questioned that. But what we can say is the guy does know something about football. We do know that. And like I said, it takes time. Everything is new. The coaching staff, the players. I really do believe that once they click and find their identity, and let me give a shout out to the way they've handled the injury. I've already talked about, Jack Driscoll, Nate Herbig came in, did a good job. The offensive line, despite the penalty, I would say the penalties beside, the offensive line has done a good job. And I've said this, It's there. I mean,
Yeah,
there's definitely something there. I mentioned 2016 earlier. This isn't quite like 2016. This is a better team than what we had in 2016. Even though that was a year where we were just trying to see, okay, we have Carson.
yeah,
This is a year to see what do we have to do to improve for next year.
yeah,
That's what that was all about.
yeah.
Our
On
wide
God.
receivers, remember our wide receivers were garbage. We had
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Treggs and Dorial Green Beckham and Paul Turner, and
Like
it was
what?
bad.
Stop
This
playing.
group of
Like
wide
that was
receivers
crazy.
is nothing like that. This group we have now have full of potential, and they're definitely showing it. Like I said, there are things that they need to work on. Now
Mm-hmm.
we saw Devontae Smith step out of bounds. You can argue if he was pushed out of bounds or if he reestablished, but the bottom line is he let himself go out of bounds, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jalen Rager did in the 49ers game. But we see the progression, we see the burst, we see the speed, we see Quez Watkins. I'm just beyond thrilled about our skill position players. Zach Ertz, our veteran, he looks, like Zach Ertz again. Dallas Goedert is a beast. Yep, hey,
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Goedert, we got a good one right there. We got a top one right there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I said, Jalen Hurts, the offensive line, I mean, it's probably not going to mean much in terms of what we're able to do as a team this year.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm back to what this year is all about. This is
Right.
all about making the transition. And D-Gift, I think we got something, man, on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, that's a ways away. But I definitely think we got something on
We
offense.
got a scoring offense for sure. And you brought up a good point about our offensive line. They was randomly thrown into the fire with random and Jason Kelsey was the only person that was the original starter on that offensive line. And that just shows again the great job that Nick Sirianni did with the game plan and the scheming with getting our skilled players in position to get the ball, to be able to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts hands as quick as possible. And when with him doing that and the offensive line blocking the way they did a hell of a good job. So good of a job that Jalen Hurts was throwing it all day to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith had over 100 yards for the first time. That was a good thing to see. And it was a few clips that was released with Devontae Smith route running ability, and when I seen him, I was just in awe. I couldn't believe the separation that he was creating. I mean, it's something that us Eagles fans haven't seen since Jeremy Maclin or Deshaun Jackson. The Chris route running is definitely worthwhile, and you add a great coach like Nick Sirianni being able to scheme up these guys and Jalen Hurts' ability. We got to get these. You brought up a great person, Quez Watkins. Devontae Smith had his game over first game over 100 yards. Before I get off in the Quez Watkins, I wanted to ask you, what was your reaction to seeing Devontae Smith and his performance with him getting his first 100-yard game? And I think as far as rookie wide receivers, he's like number one and number two as far as targets and receptions.
Well, as far as Devontae, I mean, this is what we knew coming out of college. His exceptional route running. For whatever reason, I guess we just expected for him and Jalen Hurts to have this instant connection where everything was going to go right. Well, what we're seeing that it's taken them a few games to really,
Yeah,
really get on the same page
they
on a
getting
pro
hot.
level. But I'm not surprised about I think it's only going to get better. I mean, granted, everyone stays healthy. I believe that kid is only going to get better. And you know, the numbers are the numbers. I mean,
Yeah,
he could have had over 100 yards in the 49ers game or the Dallas game if a play here, a play there goes the way it's
that's
supposed
true.
to.
That's true.
So, like I said, I'm not concerned about Devontae Smith, not being what we need him to be. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was the right move to trade up with him. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for making that trade.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's nowhere to go but up. And Quez Watkins has been the most consistent. When they look to him to make a big play, he's made it.
He goes and
And we
attack the
that's our
ball.
diamond in the rough right there.
He attacks the ball for sure. He goes up and he goes and get it.
Now, but see, this is what Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins bring. This is what I want to be in Jalen Reagor. I mean, Jalen
Exactly.
Reagor,
That's what I
brother, we
was gonna
need
jump
you. Jalen,
into.
if you're watching this video by some chance, we need you, man. Because he definitely has. That kid is fast. I mean, he has
Yeah,
bursts. But what I think he needs to be fed, he has to be somewhat of a. Now, he's not mostly known as a high volume receiver, catch
yeah.
receiver, but maybe that's what we got to do. I mean, maybe to make him feel better and get him going. But
Hmm.
Rager, we need it. I mean, this works with the three of them,
He got to
the
get
way I
his.
see it.
Yeah, he definitely got to get his route running ability like down pat. You know, some shape or form, they need to just continue to have Devontae as the one, or sometimes switch him out with Quez Watkins at the one. Either way, them two, 1 and 2, and Rager in the slot until Rager can prove that he can get open. He can, create some type of separation and not step out of bounds when he run his go routes instead of going around the guy, running through the guy. You know what I'm saying? Keeping some space, you know what I'm saying, between him and that white line, because that has ate us up twice. And I think that Devontae Smith touchdown was definitely him being forced out and him being able to reestablish his position. It, like, they literally said the rules on the TV. I'm like, well, he definitely came back, reestablished, and they didn't give him the touchdown. I'm still baffled on why that wasn't a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was so many um things in this game, so many penalties, period, that of course when a lot of penalties happen, frustration shows.
Yeah,
What you think
exactly.
what you think about Coach Nick Sirianni showing his frustration with the penalties, because penalties has been eating us up. You know, that touchdown that came back, I don't think I ever seen a coach of the Philadelphia Eagles that angry in a long time.
Well,
This
because
guy
it was,
was
I mean, it was a
going,
it was a brilliant play the way it was drawn up. I
he
mean, like I
was
said,
so
that's the
mad,
call on
bro.
that was the call on JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Now, they were on the 4-yard line. Now, listen, when you're within 5 yards, it's okay to engage. They're saying because he stuck his elbow out into the defender that was a pick. That's one of those things that is bang, but that's the kind of play you let go. So I agree with Nick Sirianni. I understand why he was upset. I mean, that definitely cost us a touchdown that we needed. And I love the fire. I do.
Man, for real.
But like I say, the referees, they haven't been their best. I mean, listen, I
Hell
don't want to
no.
blame stuff on the referees, but they have not been their best.
But we
I
got to
mean,
be
that's just
more
flat out
crisp too.
honest.
We got to be more crisp. They say Nick Sirianni had tough conversations with the coaches, and
Right.
I feel like, of course, a lot of things that was said was probably things that they all probably already know, but it's just stuff that needs to be said. We are the most penalized team in the NFL. I don't think last game I haven't cheered so much for no reason ever. Like that was the game that was the game I ever cheered the most at and didn't get nothing out of it. Like, I was cheering and then sitting down, cheering and then sitting
Right.
down, cheering and sitting down, and I had it when they took that damn touchdown. And when Nick Sirianni was showing his when Nick Sirianni was showing his frustration on the field,
Mm-hmm.
I was shaking with anger at that time. I
Yeah.
was literally just as mad because this got to stop. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for the penalties, if it wasn't for the penalties and missed opportunities in the red zone, those are two crucial things that tell whether a team is elite or not.
Exactly.
Built for that. You got to be disciplined and you got to perform in the red zone. When you get there, you punch it in. Great teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, when they got in the red zone, they irritated me the most with that underhand toss in the end zone. Like,
Yeah, it just makes them seem like a really stupid defense. I don't like to call people stupid, but
man,
that's what
it
we look
really
like.
make
Very undisciplined with the offsides and the untimely penalties. I mean, we just look like a dumb defense. As a matter of fact, we got about 14 minutes left. Let's talk about the defense real quick. Before we get into the Carolina game. Now, I spoke earlier. That was the most disheartening. That's why I was the real reason why I was so upset about the game. Not because the fact that we lost, but our defense. So let's get in. Let's talk about, some of what were your main takeaways from the defense.
The main takeaways from the defense is that we're not ready for a powerhouse team. We go against a team that can put up points. We're going to need to hope that we can.
But when you think that we have guys like, we got names like Fletcher Cox and Darius Slay, Javon Hargrave, who's been just playing lights out, and Ryan Kerrigan. When you see the results of what's been going on, you're like, how does that make you feel?
Make me. What you mean? How it make me feel?
We're not getting hearing those names, but looking at the results of our defense. I gotta hear. And like I said, I do watch your videos during the week. I mean, I watch them like 2 or 3 times over. Like I said, I love the way you've been about it. But I want to do it on our show. Let's hear it.
Man, really, I feel like this is a team, this is a defense that don't really buy into the system quite yet. You know what I mean? It make me feel like, they not, I don't want to say they're not trying, but you got to think when teams constantly going down and they scoring constantly, drive after drive. The Kansas City Chiefs had 7 drives and 6 touchdowns. 7 drives, 6 touchdowns. That's a defense that when they on the field after every first down, they frustrated, just like me. When I'm watching it, and every time it's 3rd down, oh my God, you just pray and cross your fingers because you know automatically they're gonna give up at least 3 yards. You know what I mean? They're gonna give up 3. So hopefully they like stop them right at the line. That's all I be hoping for. Just play close and play tight, and maybe we can stop them on the line. But it's a long game, so I can't imagine a team scoring constantly down the field with every drive, and the veterans, they're going to check out. We're already 1-3. If it don't get better, they say the first players to check out are the veteran players. And then once they check out, we got a whole bunch of young guys. They gonna see that. They in that facility. They feel that energy. They know when people check out. So when the veterans check out, rookies check out. Then you have a rookie head coach trying to hold everything together. He ain't gonna know what to do, and he ain't got no help. You know why he ain't got no help? Because he didn't hire no veteran head coach. He didn't hire no guy that had experience, coaching experience, or anything like that. So now he's in there with a bunch of rookies too, rookie first-time coaches that the only person that really had looks was Jonathan Gannon. But he ain't got that person to lean on. You know what I mean? And that's the downside of having a rookie head coach with no experience. Because quickly, when you can't stop a team, people check out. If we score a touchdown and we know the other team gonna go down there and score again, that's deflating. That's deflating. We need to nip it in the bud. And just like Darius Slay said, we need to figure this out ASAP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I pretty much said, my feelings on the defense. Yeah. Like I did not expect that coming in. I thought we would struggle mightily on offense. If there was a side of the ball to struggle mightily on, I thought it was going to be the offense. I did not think the defense would be this porous. Now, and Fletcher Cox. Now, you can only go to the double team thing, but so many times. I mean, that becomes a test of will, because Javon Hargrave was getting double teams, but he was still finding his way into the backfield. That's now true. The linebackers, I'm gonna try to make this quick because we're running low on time. The linebackers, like I said, I appreciate try-hard guys that give their all, but the bottom line is you can't have undrafted players or 4th or 5th round picks and try to make them number one, number two, linebackers. It just doesn't work. Teams see this. Our defense, is built, to stop the pass. When teams aren't stupid, why would Dallas or any smart team say, well, I know the strength of the Eagles' defense is their defensive line. Why I'm going to leave my quarterback out there to dry and have him drop back 30, 40 times and let that pass rush get after him? I see those little 218-pound linebackers. You know what? I'm going to bring in a fullback, an extra, tight end. We're going to run the ball right at these guys until they prove they can stop us. And for the past 3 games, really, because the 49ers did the same thing, the Eagles haven't had an answer for it. And, like I said, I'm not one, I don't really like to trash, players, because I recognize these players are what they are. Eric Wilson has done nothing. He got the interception on, Patrick Mahomes, but he has done absolutely
I knew
nothing.
he was a goofy, man.
Nothing whatsoever.
I knew he was a goofy when I watched the first game in Atlanta when he was mic'd up. And I'm a big energy guy. I can tell goofy motherfuckers. I mean, excuse my language, but I can just tell goofy people. And he didn't make not a play. He was all noise on that mic'd up. Didn't make a play, didn't create nothing, didn't do anything. They picked the worst guy to be mic'd up on the first game of the season. Like, they gave him the mic first game of the season. Yo, that had pissed me off. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I hate to do it. I know these guys they're probably really good guys off the field, but they are just what they are. And Darius Slay, now I get it. I saw the whole thing on Twitter. But after losing a game like that, this is not the time to be talking about your personal accomplishments or, what you've done in this or that. Your defense is in total disarray right now. I appreciate you, big play Slay. If you were making a few more big plays and all of that, maybe I'll let it slide. But this is not the time for it because our defense is in crisis right now.
And look, hopefully he makes some plays against these Panthers. This upcoming game against the Panthers.
Actually, let's get into that real quick too.
Yeah,
the Panthers.
This is a game. It's a must-win game for me. Like, this is a game that's within the conference, NFC conference, and we have to win. We already lost, to Dallas. We can't keep. If we want to have a shot at the playoffs, we have to start racking up some of these wins, especially the important ones that
the conference wins.
That can come down to something. And Dallas beat Carolina, and I don't like to say, because the team beat this team, we can beat this team, whoop whoop, or go like
Absolutely.
that. But if Dallas beat them, we have to beat them too. You know what I mean? We have to show that we can compete within our division. You know what I'm saying? We have
well, Carolina, they're coming in pretty much just as wounded as we are. I haven't heard. Christian McCaffrey, is he going to play? Did you hear anything?
Sure. I believe he is playing. He's making his return. So,
I guess most we can hope for that he's not 100%. Shaq Lawson, I think, won't be playing. We already know they just traded for Stephon. What's his name? Stephon Gilmore. He won't be in the game. I think this is a game, to be had. I'm actually, I already said I won't pick against the Eagles at all this year, but I definitely pick us to win. And I'm even going to give you a score. But before we do that, we got a few minutes here. What's your overall thoughts on Carolina?
Overall, they a surprising team. I actually watched one of their games, and
are you buying Sam Darnold?
Oh, he a great quarterback. I mean, I feel like
great.
I mean, not great quarterback, but he a good quarterback. He's a guy that he was a first round pick. For a reason. This is a guy that was thrown into a system, and he kind of resurrected his career. When I watch him play, I can see why he was a first round pick, and the way he's leading Carolina, all you need is that confidence. Carolina guys, when they get that juice, when they ramped up, they believe, and that energy that can push a team a whole lot. But I don't think we're gonna be seeing a lot of Sam Darnold. I think they're gonna be running the ball like that, like every other team has been doing. So as okay as Sam Darnold be, I don't think they're gonna rely on him as much as they is the running game. Period. And so we have to show that we can stop the run game. If teams know that all they got to do is double team two of our guys on the defensive line, yo, that's frustrating. If I get double team all game and we losing, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be mad. I'm
So
gonna
what
be
do you
like,
think about what I would like to see? I would like to see more of TJ Edwards and Davion Taylor. What do you think about that?
I think Davion Taylor need to get in that game. He was the best linebacker throughout training camp before he getting injured. And so with the way everything looking now, Eric Wilson cannot get off no block, yo. Like I'm
Well,
watching
none of our
him.
linebackers can.
Yeah, none of it's like, where are they? You know what I mean? Where are they? They don't perform. This is a game that I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to perform as he always do it. Nick Sirianni needs to show that, because he has yet schemed up and put our guys in position to win 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
He has yet been able to do that. Now, we lost last week, but he schemed up the offense good enough. You know what I mean? That we could have been able to win. Now, this game, I feel like he needs to show his consistency with play calling for the offense and show that we can put up 20 plus points a game. We need to he needs to show that he can do that. Now, our defense, I don't know, yo. I don't know. We had it's so complete opposite of what we done last season, earlier this season. Yo, the first game we didn't allow a touchdown. Second game we only gave up 16 points.
17 points.
We didn't, and look, in that game we didn't even give up a first down in Hellas.
For a
like
long time.
It was like the first half or so, or first quarter and a half or something.
Absolutely. All right, so we're kind of up against it. We got 2 minutes left. Give me your score for the game. What do you got?
I got us winning 28-21.
Wow, that's the same exact score I had.
Really? Yeah.
Us winning 28-21. It's going to be a sweat. I mean, it's
Hell
not going to
yeah.
be something where we're going to coast. It's something that's going to come down to the end, where I think we'll get control of the game, like around middle of the third quarter. But Carolina, they'll keep it interesting. But we're going to win that game. See, we kind of on the same page. So you might think in the same way I'm thinking.
Hell yeah.
Guys, sorry that, we have to, there's a really big show coming up on the Bird Gang Media Sports Talk Network. So please stay tuned. D Gifted, go ahead, do your shout out. Let them know where they can find you.
Man, y'all know y'all can find me, D Gifted 314. I'm proud member of Bird Gang Sports Media. We're going to give it to you again next Friday. You know how we do it. And we going to be out of here. Peace and love.
Absolutely. Peace.